What's going on, YouTube family? Today we've got this Tesla Model X Plaid. So we're going to install the intuitive lowering and camber correction kit. It's going to help minimize inner tire wear, and it's also going to help prevent the shudder sensation that can occur under high acceleration. Now there's not too many videos out there with the 2023 Tesla Model X Plaid, so I figured we'd go ahead and do one today, coming up. My name's Kevin, I'm the owner of Austin EV Only. If you're new to the channel, we do repairs on all models of Tesla and the Chevy Volt, Fiat 500 Electric, and the list is growing every day. If you're new here, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. It'd mean a lot to us and help others find our channel. Alright, just hitting it up real quick. Before we go, we've got to put the suspension, let's put it up to high so we can actually get it off the lift. Okay, that went pretty quick, and now that that's done, we're going to come in there to service and put it in jack mode. This is very important. Alright, and we're ready to jack it up. Okay, because this panel so very closely hugs the outline here of all of the suspension components, I mean, we're going to have to take this off just to give our alignment tech access. So I was going to do that first. Let's take off. There's two panels, right? There's a rear panel, it's kind of towards the back of the car, and then there's a second panel before the battery. So here's the battery. So between the battery, the secondary panel here, which lines up the suspension, that's the one I'm going to take off right now. So let's do it. After we pull all the screws out, the very last two to pull out, there is a push rivet here, one on the other side, so we're going to pull those out right now. There's two more rivets right behind the tire here. There we go. Right there, and then one on the other side. All right, let's see if we can wiggle the sucker out now. Yes, I like it. The last one's stuck. So bad. This is great. Okay, first thing we're going to do is remove this from the bracket. It's a pair of wires and it's put on by what's commonly called a Christmas tree, which means we need like a rivet popper type. So, you know, get yourself either a pry tool, or I like this guy a lot. Separator. Comes right out, nice and easy. Okay, right below the Christmas tree is a 21mm bolt. It's a one-sided, so there's no nut on the other side. So I'm going to get in here with my impact driver, electric of course, and bust this sucker loose. And then at the back of this arm here is just two bolts holding it on. These are 16mm. Just don't happen to have a 16mm impact. Oh no, is he using a chrome socket? All right, okay, so when I take these out the rest of the way, I expect that this whole thing is going to slide up because it's under pressure. So I just want to show you guys that. Well, it'll slide out. What do you know? Okay, so let's see what happens when I unscrew this guy then. Okay, nothing seemed to be tension under pressure. All right, now let's pull this piece away. Okay, very good. So let's do a quick unboxing of these Tartan SXP2s, specifically for 2001 on up, Tesla Model S and Model X. These are pretty neat. Let's take a peek inside, see what we got. We got performance. Okay, so we got the two new arms here, plus, let's check out this box here. Lowering links, look at those beauties. That's cool that they're all identical. Pre-greased, ready to go. Okay, let's get these suckers on. One of the things I want to point out here is just make absolutely sure that you've got them matched up. I mean, one could fairly easily mistake which one goes where. So just make sure, you know, you line them up and hey, you know, right side, left side, left side. Okay, we're gonna slip the new ones in. Warning, there is a potential to do this wrong. Make sure that this part is facing down. That's the number one thing we need to look for. I know they're not stamped left, right, so maybe just be extra sure you get the right ones in the right spot, because you could absolutely install the wrong ones on the wrong side. Okay, as we're wrapping up here, there's either a factory bolt that you could just put it right back if you want. Intuitive includes these bolts as well, same, everything the same, except it doesn't have the 16 millimeter, it just has the 10 millimeter Allen or hex head, I don't know what you call that. So you can use either. It's dealer's choice. There's no right or wrong answer here. I assume this blue means that they've got some Loctite on it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use these today, but by all means, if you don't have a 10 millimeter hex head, go ahead and just put the old ones right back in. Last thing we gotta do is pop off these links here that control the air suspension adjustment arms. So we're gonna put on some adjustable ones here in just a second. Okay, and with the new lowering links, they're all the same length, so it doesn't matter front or back. Whereas with the 2012 through 2020, it matters. Okay, let's talk about these lowering links real quick. So you can extend them out, and I'm gonna go to -10 because this customer wants this car slammed. Let's see, can we make out these numbers here? There we go. So right there, that's -10 right there. And then let's talk about the problem getting them on the back of the car. Okay, so here's the thing about these links. The back side of this link is already bumping up against this bolt here, right? So we actually can't extend this much further than the default. So we're gonna start it just at 0, and then after it's on, we'll drop it, and then that'll give us some more room, and then we can extend this out. What that means is that we can't ever do the lift by the body. We're gonna have to always make sure to lift by the suspension. Okay, so for the front of this Model X, we don't have that problem, right? This stock link here has plenty of room to sway, whether it's up or down, so we'll be able to pop those on no problem, and don't even need to remove the tire to do it, right? We can just jump in here while it's lifted and go ahead and get at it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's see if we can do this live. Without, there we go. And get in here, hold this still so we don't break it. And then there we go. All right, let's see if we can get the new ones in here without too much trouble. Oh my goodness. You know what would be nice, Don, is if there was a flat side on here so that I could press against it and it stopped rolling off. Got it. There we go. All right, there we go. Fantastic. All right, let's talk pre-alignment real quick. So right here is the adjuster for this guy. And we're gonna wanna do some pre-alignment adjustment here, because if we wait to get to the alignment shop, we're gonna have a heck of a time trying to get this sucker aligned. So this customer wants this car slammed, right, to the ground. So that means that we need to add some extra camber here. Now this one, so these are the black anodized, so these ones have this meter here on it, which is pretty cool. So what that means I can do is I can dial in my alignment here. So what we want to do here is we want to set this to positive equal to whatever we set our negative. So if on the lower links, if we do -5, we should set this to +5. On the lower links, if we do -10, we should do this to +10. So that's what I'm trying to get to right now. Looks like I'm pretty much there. But a couple pieces of advice on how to do this. This thing gets bound up pretty quick and becomes very challenging to move, right? So what we're gonna wanna do is loosen some things up. So here's what we're gonna loosen up. Okay, first, took the screw out of the bracket that holds the sensor, right? That senses the ride height. So I took the screw out of the ride height sensor. So now I can remove the ride height sensor. So I'm just gonna pull this out of the way here. Okay, and that's gonna give me some room to work now. And the other thing that I did is these bolts here are connected to this. See if we can get this focused here. They're connected to this rod here. Looks like this. It's the very one on top. So loosen those bolts. Don't take them out. Just loosen them. And by loosening those bolts, you're gonna loosen this arm, and by loosening that arm, you're gonna take off some of the twisty tension on this upper control arm here, or camber arm. So that's what we're doing. Now we have plenty of room to get at. Let's see if we can, right here. So this, where I'm tapping, that's where we need to get at. And so now we're gonna have plenty of room. All right, so now that I have this intuitive camber correction arm installed, it's time to start torquing down some of the bolts. So let's run through some of the numbers. For all of the 16mm bolts that I showed you I previously loosened so that I could get the adjustment dialed in, I need to retorque those down to 62 feet-pound of torque. Now for the 21mm bolt, preloading is not required. That is, you don't have to put like a jack or a pull jack underneath that one tire and raise it up to the proper height. If the only thing you changed out today was the camber arms, not the toe arms, not the caster arms, just the camber arms, then preloading is not required. So go ahead and torque down that 21mm bolt to 111 foot-pounds of torque. Once all the suspension arms are torqued to spec, the next thing is I want to put a little bit of tightening on the camber arm itself. So previously, we had adjusted it to what, like +7, +10mm on the scale on the intuitive. And so I need to lock it in just enough so that I can drive it over to the alignment shop. So I'm not going to torque it to spec, but I am going to hand tighten it pretty much as tight as I can do it by hand, so that it doesn't move too much over to the alignment shop. Once that's done, then we can go ahead and lower the car. Remember, the car should be in jack mode so that it doesn't damage the airbags. With that in mind, put the tires back on. You can torque the Tesla tires. The lug nuts typically get torqued to 129 feet-pound of torque. So go ahead and torque down the tires on your drive over to the alignment shop. And then once we get the car over to the alignment rack, set the car into low suspension mode, because that's how we're going to want to align the car. Also, try to put it in tow mode. I tried, but it seemed like I didn't have good luck. Every time I get out of the car, it would reset itself. But we were trying to basically get it into neutral and have it keep itself in neutral so that we could roll the car by pushing it or by hand on and off of the exact alignment spot. For the alignment, we're going to follow Intuitive's recommendation, not the factory Tesla recommendation. So here we can see on the camber that Tesla has recommended a wide range from -0.5 all the way to -2.5. And in this case, we're actually not going to do that. We want to try to get it around -0.5 to -0.6. I guess -0.7 would be okay as well. Still kind of in the range. So that's what we're shooting for here. And so what that means is that normally Tesla wants the tires like leaning in or cambered in, and that's what causes, the inner tire wear. So we're going to have these closer to being perpendicular to the ground, and hence the number. And you can see here that it's in the yellow range when we do that, not in the green range, and that's okay. I understand that that's not what Tesla recommends, but that is what Intuitive recommends, and we want to follow Intuitive's recommendation Now for the rear toe, Tesla recommends a very wide range from 0.05 degrees to 0.35 degrees. And that's a pretty wide range, so we need to do better. We need to split the difference and aim to go for 0.20 degrees. Now on our machine doesn't measure in degrees. The toe is measured in inches. So if we look at the toe, we can see the recommended range is from 0.03 inches to 0.18 inches. And that in fact is a pretty wide range. So we're gonna try to do better and split the difference and shoot for about 0.10 inches on the toe. And then of course, thrust angle should be as close to 0 as possible. And finally, I wanted to say that I dialed in the lowering links while the car was on this 4-post lift and all the wheels were supported, because in that situation, the lowering links weren't pressing up against the subframe of the car, and so I was able to freely adjust those. So I actually did it while it was on this lift, and I set it to -10 front and back because the customer wanted this car slammed to the ground. Okay, and once the alignment is dialed in, we're ready to torque down the set screws on the intuitive camber correction arm. And so for the large 8mm Allen wrench, that can be torqued down to 42 foot-pounds of torque. And then for the smaller T30 bit that's just in front of the adjuster, that can be torqued down to 15 foot-pounds of torque. Actually used an inch-pounds converter, and that is 180 inch-pounds. So in the fronts, you can see here's a picture from standing, and then another picture squatting down. You can see there's barely any room for this wheel to move. And so the customer took delivery, and he was super happy with the way it looked, and it looked so cool. And then immediately he realized that the ride quality was so rough and just wasn't going to work for him and his family. So he had some buyer's remorse on his request and came back to me and asked that I change it again. And so here is a picture of the rears with a little bit more space in there. And then another picture of the whole car with some more space front and back. So this is what the final product looked like. This is what we went with in the end. And there was quite a few trials and tribulations, but we got it done. So thank you so much. Well, that's all for today, folks. If you found this video helpful, please smash that like button. And more importantly, please subscribe. That's how we make more videos. Until next time, this is Austin EV Only.